But to finalize, I think we are going to have Arcela Prelaj, and she's going to give us the other part of the intelligence, the artificial intelligence part, which is going to complement what to do in the future. Arcela is coming from the National Cancer Institute of Milano. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you again for the invitation. I thought they forgot my talk, so I was a bit... So, the AI talks are already in the medical, let's say, congresses, or in the beginning, or generally before lunch, or at the end. So, but one of the main things that today it's more difficult because was really after all these excellent stars. So, I am no one. I'm very happy to be here. I missed last year. I wanted, let's say, to give today more practical messages and how the digitalization, not only AI, can help us to guide all these very important decisions. Because, as you know, I am very happy that we have so much things in the field, but I couldn't follow anymore because I am following a lot on AI, and so it's crazy how much research is out there in lung cancer. So, the title of this presentation is Artificial Intelligence in Lung Cancer. So how we can move from research to clinic is the classical question that everyone asks me. And how we can move it and when. So I try to answer to this question through the presentation. So first of all, one of the main messages that I really wanted from the whole community to come is we need to move from research to clinic. But one of the main things, if we need to move from research to clinic, we need to do research. And the research today in the AI area, it's impossible to be done one study, one hypothesis. The burden of ethical and legal framework is very high. So we need more data-driven models. This is just an example that I designed these data-driven models quite 4 years ago, which is called Apollo 11. This was ideated before in 2016 as a translational research in lung cancer. Then this was, let's say, biodata-driven model changed by becoming national, focusing on the whole lung cancer, non-small cell and small cell. We acquire prospective data with decentralized platform, which is RedCap, by the way, that exists in everywhere. They talk the same language, so the same eCRF, and the data sharing is using a federated learning system in different centers, so for example, in Bari, in Naples, in Italy. But we are also prospectively collecting material in different time points for each new drug that the patient is receiving. In this case, innovative treatments such as target therapies and immunotherapy, so 100% of our patient is able to be enrolled in this program. This takes me 3 years to put the whole infrastructure together, so a lot of work, more than 120 debattles with ethical committees, just to activate 20 centers. And these were more with the statistician, by the way, because they are asking me the simple size. The biodata-driven model doesn't have a simple size. And the idea is to, let's say, gather all the information to be ready to answer to a translational query, to a clinical query. We need to be ready for this. In fact, AI, it's very developed in places that were already had the registries, already had all these available data before. So this is an example. This is just, a picture, because after 3 years I started to activate the centers, and now we have 32 centers activated in whole Italy, and we started to enroll patients, as you can see, different type of patients for immunotherapy, target therapy, next generation therapies, yearly, and this is an article submission to Nature Resources, since this will be a method, the resource tool also for external people that wanted to access to the data, to the material, and also different translational work. So how? We need to design prospective programs, which are master protocols, and obviously we need to do it now. This is the question. So The other thing is that my whole presentation is that in AI, we are going to shift different paradigms in a very little time. So it's very difficult also for us that are expert to stay in time and to stay really updated. And as you know, from predictive AI, we are shifting to generative AI. So predictive AI, we have a database, we have the machine learning or deep learning techniques, and we are predicting, because we know the outcome, we are predicting and creating a model. The generative AI are able to develop big models with different data sets without knowing the label, and are able to answer you different questions and generating, let's say, different tasks. So this is what generative AI do through the transformers, and the Google Brain was in 2017, let's say, publishing the first transformer, and the transformers are the architecture that are inside of foundation models and large language models. So as you can see, this is the history, and now we are in the era of foundation models. But what are the foundation models? Foundation models for us in oncology are important for two things. A lot of things, but I'm simplifying. So one, because obviously we have small data set, and we have to use also that small data set. And the other one is because if we need, we can also use our data set to specialize a problem and to answer to that problem. So what I mean is this. This was presented in ESMO, last ESMO, in the presidential session. Why this foundation model was important? Now there are plenty of them. But the main message is we have many, in this case, is a digital pathology foundation model. So using digital slides without a label, so it means that without having the outcome from different cancers. And from that type of foundation models, we are using them to address and to query other type of data set. Where in this other type of data set, we have already the label, we have the outcome, and we are able, let's say, to don't start from scratch. Because the problem is we cannot use small data set in AI because we can risk to overfit, we can risk to say and to answer questions that probably are answering us by random responses. So now this is another recent foundation model published in Nature. What these foundation models are able to do is that they are able to host other type of data set with labels, so with the outcomes, and trying to answer, for example, different type of questions. As you can see, prognosis prediction, for example. They are able to say the prognosis in in this case, this data set is more than 6,000 patients, or, for example, to say something related to the immunotherapy. So how we can do it? We are integrating these algorithms and these foundation models within our pipeline in order to do not start from scratch, but the pipeline and the algorithms is learning also from these algorithms and this data set. And we are doing it now. So one of the main things that is connected with the other session is we need physician decision support system for immunotherapy, okay? And this is some of the background of the main papers that have been recently published, except from the Van Goor et al., which was a paper in 2022, which was, let's say, our standard of care for multimodal integration in this case. The whole other papers was absolutely published between December 2024 and January 2025. As you can see, for example, one paper, 9,000 patients in only the real-world data, other patients with digital pathology, another multimodal paper in 300 patients. So what I was doing during my PhD in bioengineering and AI, I'm a medical oncologist as background, but I studied from 5 years AI, and was to answer to the question that we put together before, so to try to understand which are the patients that might benefit from first generation immunotherapy, first line, how we can select immunotherapy. Now will become very, very difficult because we are not covering in real world those patients that are receiving next generation immunotherapy in first line, okay? However, this was the design of the study, so we will have, in this case, a retrospective cohort of more than 2,000 patients, then a prospective cohort in real-world data, also some other multi-omic cohort in order to try to understand which is the role of all these omics. And the objective of the ITRelaj is dual. First, to go with the real-world data and decision support system in clinic to help clinicians to decide with real-world data, lab exams, digital pathology, images, and genomics, which are all real-world data. We are all collecting them for clinical practice. And the second aim of the ITRelaj study was to try to understand, to discover more through this multi-omic data that we are collecting. Just to let you know which is the amount of the multi-omic data that we collected here, the new generation of real-world data with radiomic and digital pathology, all the blood level omic analysis at the tissue level, at single cell level, and microbiome. So this is absolutely not to integrate them in clinical practice, but the second aim was for discovery purpose. So this is the situation. We did 2.5 years of our project, and we have enrolled already 2,641 patients, from them 415 patients, non-omic and omic patients. And let's say that we have developed now 2 tools, which are, 2 of them are under submission. The first tool is one tool dedicated to the doctors, as you said, so by using real-world data, images, digital pathology, and genomics data. And the other one is for patients. These are, let's say, some results, but just to let you know that we are publishing this first multimodal paper very soon. But one of the interesting parts of this paper is the clinical applicability, because we used general oncologists and specialized oncologists to test them and to compare them alone with and adding them the decision support system, and the results are very nice, especially when we go to general oncologists that have to decide using these tools, because obviously general oncologists, for example, are not able to follow every details that are coming in clinical practice. So the main message here is that we don't have nothing today to decide, and these tools can serve as a screening tools really to help us in the decision. So how? We will integrate them within informatic workflow systems. We are working with that in our institutions for now. And hopefully, if we validate it as soon as possible prospectively, within 2 years' time, the objective at the end of this project is to integrate this first tool in clinical practice. Key, just a message. Explainable AI, how these tools are working is a key. However, we are shifting a paradigm in explainable AI, because the thing is that we don't need only to explain how this process happened. We also need to understand the feedbacks from the doctors, because we need to improve the explanation of everything we are doing of our tools. And one of the main challenges is that we have some of these tools, not on treatments, but also on diagnostic, but still they are not adapted in clinical practice, because we need to explain, we need to train people and to tell them how they are working, and obviously to clarify responsibilities. Training doctors and integrating system in the informatic workflow is obviously one of the main things, how we can integrate the explainable AI tools within the multimodal decision tools. And this, for example, will take a bit more time compared to the decision support system. Another interesting thing that we did in the ITRelaj is the IBDAS co-decision-making tool. It's a tool dedicated to the patient, and obviously you know that patients need and want to be more and more informed. And in this case, what we developed is to try to explain the patient different types of treatments before they enter and do the first visit with the oncologist in order they to be informed, not only about the treatments, about the differences in quality of life and toxicity, and for patients that wanted to know also about survival, because one of the main things is that the patient has also to select the quality, for example, quality of life compared to overall survival. This is why I told before, my question before was, for patients that have a very good survival and have obtained a complete response, probably we are already there with some of them. And this is also, this tool is under publication. The last thing that I wanted to show, which is a nice example for digitalization, is this mobile app that we have developed here. And this is a mobile app that is capturing 4 different type of symptoms, let's say. The cough symptoms, quality of life, sorry. Cough symptom, physical activity, the voice and emotional monitoring, and also a very smart quality of life, let's say, smart questionnaire. So what we are doing with this app mobile is inside there is a cognitive sensing with deep learning system. So we are capturing these all informations but transforming them in features. So we are not having sensitive informations about what patients are talking or things like that. And these are the first enrollment. We enrolled around 200 patients already. But just to let you know how these work. So these are the things that we are monitoring of a patient, breathless, how much they cough, etc. This patient is a real patient. He just here started chemoimmunotherapy, for example. And if you notice, look at the signals, how they move, no? After he did the radiation therapy, in this case. So we can feel that there are breathless and cough. After that, he had a very good remission after radiation therapy. But however, he had some toxicities. And as you can see, there are a lot of signals out there during the toxicity. There are 3 reasons why we make this mobile app. One, to monitor toxicity for immunotherapy longitudinally. The second one, to monitor to defer from progressive disease. And the other one is also to try to do a better remote service with this patient. So this is a very nice picture, just to say prospectively how much one of the patients has coughed at least 462 times. So they are also compliant. I mean, not all of them, but many of patients are really interested also in these mobiles. Using this type of data compared to healthy control, we have sent recently this, we have submitted this in ASCO, and we are submitting a paper with this mobile app. But we are also able to diagnose stage 4 lung cancer through cough analysis, cough features compared to healthy control. And look at the specificity, and this is really nice, because we know that also in the era of screening, the screening of the screening is very relevant, because we want also them to offer the screening to a non-smoker population, and having some tools that can, let's say, be the screening before the radiological screening, it's very relevant. So this is a very good example, and we are, let's say, publishing this very soon. So obviously, to have mobile apps, we need to train caregivers and to train patients. Okay, but also we are expecting them within the next 2-3 years at the end of the project to have this mobile app actually used for clinical practice. The last main message, because my time finished, is large language models. I know that everyone is very interested and excited, and also we are excited. Just 2 examples what we are doing with them. We can do a lot of things with them. For example, automatic data structuring, okay? Trial matching and screening, for example, which is a huge work for us. And also, there are co-pilots developed. And so this is a work that we are doing. We compared with the manual entering of the I3 lung study, and also in the Apollo 11 study. And I can say you that we know with Enriqueta and Martin that are part of this study, we did a lot of rebuttal with the data entry. Months and months more, 9 months the first time, and other 6 months the second time. And I can say you that the results with the automatic data entry from some of the features are very nice, and also compare to manual data entry. In this case, PD-L1 accuracy is 0.78, which is nice, but look at the metastasis rate. The first time we had missing this information 50%. Okay, while with the automatic extraction, we were able to have it in 0.96 accuracy. So this is nice, just to say that we can save sometimes, obviously sacrificing a bit of error, but we don't have to forget that a human error is, however, good. And the main message of this work that we have already sent it in ASCO was that probably the data manager and the quality check has to be for the second round. So after we automatic extract, the second round, then we can use them so we can save at least 9 months for them. And these are a very good publication related to the trial match. I wanted you to show this and if you can go and look at it, because it really saves a lot of times if we want to screen a patient for a new trial. Obviously, it's a code that has to be updated because the trials are so much, but was a really nice publication. And finally, this is, I don't know if the video can be, this is just 4 days ago. This is Model AI, PathChat. It takes the breakthrough FDA approval. It's a co-pilot developed by the father of the Howard for digital pathology with this Mahmoud Faisal. And this is a very nice copilot for the diagnostics that helps you to answer to different questions. But imagine how much time we can save also with the pathologist and make them focus only on very rare diseases or rare cases. So this is very nice. I wanted you, if you can, and when now. Training is very important. This is the 3rd edition of my congress that I'm organizing, 8 and 9 May in Milan. The whole population and community that published in Nature and are interested in nature, in lung cancer and in cancers, and AI will be there in presence. 60 speakers will be there in 2 days talking about it, and also ESMO this year organized in Berlin after 1 month of ESMO AI, and this is a really nice signal for us. So save the date for this next conference. I designed it at 1 a.m. So 30, I wanted to help you, Delvis, so put in the agenda. Okay. I want to put in the agenda of also other friends. And sorry, sorry. I had my last slide. Okay, no. My last slide was the, okay, however, it was a surprise slide, but. Okay.
So, any question for artificial intelligence?
Oh, thanks so much. Dr. Prelaj, that was wonderful. So I have a question. I have 2 questions. So the first question is about your Apollo study and whether you have to get consent in order to collect all of the, if you have to get consent, informed consent signed to collect all of the patient's data. And if you do, like, what do we do with all the people who say no, and how do we capture their data? So that's question 1. The second question is, do you have challenges with Apollo and your other studies? There are a lot of restrictions in countries about uploading data to clouds, exporting data, the risk of identification. How do you overcome that when you generate these big data sets? So consent and then.
Yeah, so the first, I wanted to add one information to your first question, because this study was designed with the Association of Patients in Lung Cancer in Italy, IPOP, and they designed the informed consent. And this is another interesting point that I didn't point out here, is that there is a one-shot consent. So really they designed a comprehensive concept, so we don't have to go back to them. And again, so related, your question exactly for the concept is when they do not want to give, let's say...
Does everyone sign consent to join? Do the patients have to be individually consented to join Apollo?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And then what do you do about the patients who refuse to sign consent? How do you capture their data? What's your suggestion for overcoming that?
Can I say, so, at least for my experience in Istituto Mori, we really have few patients. I remember in Apollo 11, 2-3 patients that refused the data. So if they refuse, we are not collecting the data. However, it's a research institute, it's a cancer institute, which means that we are for a row in Italy, which is 100, the row 111 bis, like that. We are allowed to collect their data, not their material. Even they doesn't give the consent. However, if they do not accept, we are not including them. So we are just explaining. On 23 of January, we just did a meeting with the whole patients, with the whole community, and just show the results, everything we have done. So their involvement, it's very important in this process, I think. So the second part of the cloud and everything, so this is a very hot challenges now, because I have also for my lab to take the decision what to do, how much to invest in the hardwares and the cool rooms, or how much to invest in the cloud. So I think these, however, there are certified clouds which are very good. The problem is that sometimes we need, let's say, to speed some task, and we have always to ask, so it's a problem. So for now, I'm investing a lot in the local, let's say, in hardwares. However, for example, with Amazon Cloud, which is certified, for example, we are using them very well, and yeah, we need to pay every time we do it, but we are trying to, we're using that. What? Amazon Cloud, yeah. But there are many of them.
Fantastic talk. Thank you so much. I have a very practical question, because at the end of the talk you were explaining how to do automatic extraction of data, to avoid data entry with, this is a loss of time. But in Europe especially, that we have a lot of limitation to access to clinical records, how do you solve the data search to fit your model? Because I had a previous experience that we were sending PDF of every, radiology report, pathology, everything actually outside of our system to fit the model. How are you dealing with this?
So this is an excellent question. So there are different ongoing processes. So first of all, we cannot download locally different LLMs, because, for example, ChatGPT has an outside server, so you have to. So we are not, for now we are using Llama, or we are using also another in-health big data project with Politecnico di Milano, another one that we have developed. So first is the problem of the server. Second one are the PDFs. So we in Italy at ITCD2025 have the data warehouse. The data warehouse is a system that automatically collects within the Excel, for example, all the electronic health records in different sections, for example. And now for this analysis, we did this and compare with the data entry locally. There are 20 centers in Italy that are doing that within Apollo trial, and we are going to do it within Apollo 11. Related to the PDFs, actually, I don't have another different answers, except for what we are doing for profit trials. So anonymize them totally, okay? And obviously capturing. We are able, not with Llama, with another program that we have, that we developed with Politecnico di Milano, which is, because my lab is a joint research platform, we were able to capture all information. We are doing it, for example, now as an example with the genomic data, and see how we will capture with the genomic data entry that we did through the Apollo 11 and I3 lung trial. So for the data sharing, for the PDFs, there is no. The other thing that we are doing in 2 pilot centers, in Campus di Roma and another center in Niguarda in Milan, it's going, since we are developing the federated learning systems, also the swarm learning systems, going there, uploading there, downloading there the LLMs, sure, and trying to, let's say, we did this very good job with Jakob Kather, which is my colleague from Germany, and we are doing, in fact, we are validating other, let's say, works, and we are locally validating, me with my team and he with his team. So, and I'm just jumping with my postdocs, going to there and trying to do this. This is another way, let's say, but cloudy, differently, there is not other ways, at least for now.
Thank you. So, you know that she got more answer than question. It's the first time I saw it in my life. So, I think we have to finish that. I think the chair is like to say some words here, so thank you.